So you're Joe Rogan. You were in LA for decades, Hollywood, sports, comedy. Basically 3 titan areas of American entertainment. What do people not know about that industry that they should know? Which also caused you clearly to be like, I've generally had a bad experience. And I'm obviously not with the UFC or anything like that, but you having been at the center of all these worlds, you've seen a lot of shit, I guess. And it caused you to say, I cannot be controlled by these people. What were some of those experiences, and why do you think that the industry is the way that it is today?
They don't have, here's the best way to describe what's going. This is the problem, not just with Hollywood, but also with Los Angeles, because Los Angeles is inexorably connected to show business. Mm-hmm. There is no getting around that. It's the reason why a large percentage of people move there, and it also massively affects the politics of the place, and not just politics, but social discussions, the way people communicate, because it's an incredibly disingenuous way of communicating, where you want to say the things that people are going to want to hear, because that way they're going to cast you. So here's the thing. You take these people, and generally speaking, people come to Hollywood if they have an acting dream. That's the big reason why, right? That's probably the number one. There's comics, they come there and they're different, but not necessarily, because a lot of them get into acting. And they get corrupted by that system too. But the way this system works is you go there, and then you go into a room like this one. So maybe we could be the casting directors, and someone would come in and you go, hey Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where'd you move from? And there's a smugness to it and a weirdness to it, because they have power over you. Yeah. And they're like, well, I'm from New Jersey, but I've been acting. I did a bunch of plays and blah, 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 and I'm out here trying it out. Okay, Mark. Well, you're going to read for the role of Ted, and then, some fucking PA will read off a thing. Well, Ted, I don't even know if we can do this, man. It just seems like it's all wrong. You're like, come on, man. We can do it. And so you're in this. I've done this so many times. You're in this completely non-natural environment. It's usually a conference room in a production office. And you're in this non-natural environment with these smug people that have this massive amount of power over you. And it shapes the way people communicate. I've been in rooms where they'll discuss politics, right away. And you see people bend to whichever way the wind is blowing. What do I have to say?
What do they want me to say?
I think it's about time we had a woman president. They'll say shit. You see it. You see the They don't have opinions. These, when I say they, some of them do, but a lot of them don't. What they have is a conglomeration of opinions that they've adopted because they think it'll be beneficial for their career. Because their career is gross. They're insecure people that go to a place where they're going to get rejected a lot. It is the worst thing ever for their mental health. I stopped dating actresses in the 90s. It was 94. I was like, oh, this is not good. This doesn't work. These people are crazy. And I'm like, I know I'm crazy, but I'm a comedian / martial artist crazy. It's a different kind of crazy.
Okay.
It's a more honest crazy. Their crazy was, I need to get cast in things. And also, I got insanely lucky. I auditioned for 2 television shows. And the 2 television shows I auditioned for, I got both of them. Mm-hmm. It was nuts. I got the show called Hardball. That was the first thing I came out for. I got that. And then Hardball got canceled, and I auditioned for News Radio. And then I got that. Right. So it was 2 things in a row. It was unheard of. So just dumb luck. I auditioned for the right things. And then, so I didn't see this side of it because I was already working.
The constant rejection side.
So I would go on auditions for movies and stuff that I probably didn't really want, and I would
did it because you were supposed to. Right?
You're supposed to. My agent would literally tell me, "You need to go out on these so these casting directors know who you are, so they know you and they like you." Even I go, "But I can't even do this because I'm doing this." They're like, "Just it's
go.
Better to have them want you and not be able to get you."
That's weird.
So okay. So and then there was maybe something that's going to be cast while you're on summer break. Okay, fine. So I would go on these auditions and I would see these poor fucks that were lost in this world of being chosen for things. And that's what shapes the entire mindset of that part of the country. The entire mindset of that part of the country is doing things that you think other people will like. Imagine a
that's so
hellscape of a
corrosive.
world where everyone in the business, in one business, everyone is liberal.
Yeah.
How is that possible? How is that possible?
Right.
How is it possible when the country is basically divided 50-50? So you're telling me that everyone who is everyone who's creative? Is it everyone who is expressive? Is it everyone who's theatrical? Is that possible? It's not possible because it's not really opinions. They're willing to not have any opinions on anything else other than feeding narcissism, feeding this career that seems insurmountable and impossible to achieve. Because when you're thinking about someone wanting to be like an actor on a television show, you're like, what are the odds that you make it? It's so small.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's so many people in Hollywood that never make it. Like I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day about his ex-girlfriend. And she was really mean to him in college, and she cheated on him with his friend, and all this. And she's still trying to make it now. She's 48.
Wow.
And he was talking about how like he ran into her, and there's this fucking weird moment. I was like, dude. Because it's crazy. A lot of them just drop off. They just quit because they realize they're clinging to this ship and they can't quite pull themselves up. And then they're in the middle of the ocean like, I got to drop off the ship. And then sometimes they drop off and they're 60 years old.
There's nothing
and they've
else
never
left.
made it.
Wow.
And then maybe they got like a bit part on like a sitcom where they walk in with a pizza and they have one line, they leave, and that's on their reel forever. Like this is that industry. So that industry has made a bunch of fucking insane people because they were insane going in there. They needed a lot of attention already. And then on top of that, they get rejected over and over and over again. And I remember this girl that I was dating, she would come home from auditions and then she'd just be like, just devastated because the audition didn't go well and she stumbled through things. She's just like, you could like feel the angst like pulsating off of their bodies. Like
Yeah.
people were just, and you run into that more than you don't because most people are bitter and most people are weirded out and they adopt these liberal sensibilities and ideologies and they don't necessarily do it because they thought these things through. I mean, occasionally you got your Mark Ruffalo type characters really all in on a lot of things.
Right.
But most of them are not.
Right.
Most of them are just nonsense people. And those nonsense people will get on stage and they'll say, like at the Academy Awards or at the Grammys, they'll talk about, this is what we have to do. We have to make sure that we support this and that. And it's fucking horseshit.
Or like
And so,
that Imagine video where they all
oh
sang.
my God, it was
Oh, it was
perfect.
so
I'm like,
cringe.
who asked for this? We
Perfect.
never fucking asked you for this.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect
And it's
encapsulation.
like, do you think you're actually helping anyone?
Yeah, I'm like,
right now?
no, this is so
accomplishing
bad.
That was
nothing.
my first favorite one. My second favorite one was after the George Floyd thing, where they all did that black and white video. Like,
Oh,
I will
yeah,
no
right,
longer
right,
stand for it. I will no longer stand for any race. I'm like, wait, how much racism are you standing for? Like,
Right?
where are you-
What were you doing before?
Bro, you live in
standing
fucking Santa
for?
Monica. What are you? Everybody's super liberal out there. What are you experiencing?
So that's the people that like don't make it, right?
Even the people that do.
And then
we're
so
talking
do you
about
think,
two groups of people that do.
Right.
The Imagine people and the people in the other video
and
are people
so
that
do. Do you think that fame has its own like corrosiveness and like the people who actually make it, and then you're in a different situation where you're not faced with constant rejection. Now you're faced with constant adulation. Like, what does that do to people? And what has that experience been like for you?
I think you have to have something that tests your ego. And for me, it's always been martial arts and exercise and yoga. And, you know, we talked about sauna.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that tests you as much as you don't think it does. You need things that test you. If you just have this smooth sailing life where you get out of the shower, you put your arm out, and someone hands you a towel, and you're like, I'd like fresh fruit, and they bring you a plate of fresh fruit, and you're like, and then that's a lot of people, especially when you are on a movie set and you're a major star. I would imagine that is your reality, where you're just constantly being catered to, and you start thinking that you're different and better than other
You
people.
deserve
Yeah,
it.
right.
It's very unhealthy, and it's very
weird.
sketchy.
It's fucking weird.
It's
like
fucking
when I
weird.
think about it.
Yeah, it's
and
psychologically,
Right.
it's not where people are supposed to be. But you think about it, like, what do they behave like? Well, they behave like Joffrey in fucking Game of Thrones,
Right.
right? Isn't that his name?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
you got
Yeah.
it.
You behave like a king. You behave like a dictator. because like all these people are like throwing roses at your feet, and like the red carpet shit. Like I fucking never would do red carpet. Even movies that I did, like I did a couple of movies with Kevin James. Like we'd like you to walk the red carpet. Like fuck you. I'm like I'm not. I want to go in the back of the theater. I'm not walking through that red carpet.
It's a very weird custom when you think
like
about
stand
it.
there, Joe, over here, over here, over here, and then some people are posing. They're picking out their outfit. I'm wearing a fucking hoodie
Picking
and
their
I'm putting it
angles.
on and sneaking in the back. I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that.